guys, Tricia Turner here. It's Tuesday. This is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. This is my good friend, Dawda. He is the owner of Your Move. They move home and office. I got that down. And I'm super excited that he's here with me today. Hi, Dawda.
Hey, good morning, Tricia. Oh, it's actually afternoon. I'm sorry. It's 12 o'clock. See? It's almost not
It's all good. The title of this podcast is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. And that can be in any industry. And it's in life. That's what it says. Yeah. And I met Dawda a few years ago. We know each other's stories backwards and forwards. But he is such a unique person because he's a lot like me, where we've freaking hustled and grinded every single day. Nothing was handed like, here, go open your office, here, go open your business. And we still are in the trenches working it every day. And he continues to grow. There's no overnight success, but he's continued to grow all these years that I've known him. And he goes through struggles and challenges just like we all have, especially with the pandemic, but he continues to be digging deep into his business every single day, and he gives back to his people. And so I thought no better person to get on and talk about growing your business and growing your life than Dawda. So welcome, Dawda.
Well, thank you, Tricia. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to sit with you. So
I would like for you, so you guys watching out there, I've known Dawda for I don't even know how many years now, 7, I think.
6, 7 years, yeah. It's about that long.
Something like that. And we met at a networking group when I was with Remax years ago.
You know, I just drove past Remax the other day and it actually hit me. I said, that's where I met Tricia right there on Old Katie, Avenue D, right?
Yeah, and when I drive by there, I think of the same thing too, like fond memories, you know?
A lot has changed since then. And
a
it's
lot.
all for the better. You know?
Yeah, and you were in networking, and I wasn't doing a big networking thing then, but you were, and we just clicked right away, and we've been working together, and we've been friends ever since. And I'll never forget, in our networking group, we had to get up and share our stories, and you shared your story, and I thought it was amazing. So I would love for you to tell our viewers out there a little bit of your backstory, because everyone looks at you and they're like, oh, look at Dawda, he's got this huge successful moving company. But you know what? He didn't come from success. So can you share that story with everyone, please?
Yes, ma'am. Well, to start with, Tricia, again, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And I mean, just a quick background of my story is, you know, it's actually the life of a lot of immigrants, really, you know, coming into, you know, from the Mayflower all the way to now, right? Every immigrant story is different. But I mean, for me, I left home extremely young. And then I grew up in sort of like a 10-mile radius, and I was just thrown into a city like Houston. So
Tell everyone where you grew up, though. Where'd you come from?
I grew up in Gambia, which is actually, you know, if you look at the continent of Africa, it's the smallest country in Africa. So it's very tiny. Everybody knows everybody, you know. So, but that's where I grew up, and for me, everything was just normal growing up. But I consider myself really lucky in regards to leaving home and then coming to Texas. It actually changed my life for the better. I got here with nothing but, you know, a couple of $100, which I used part of it to get a Greyhound bus to Houston. And then the $10 that was left, I had to call my mom until I was in town. So I had to buy a phone card. That's just what it was. And I started from the bottom up, literally. My first job was actually working at a gas station making $6 an hour. And
how long ago was that, Dawda?
That was 22 years ago.
Okay.
You know, so 1999, right? This June is going to make 1999, make 22 years. But I started with that, and I just built my way up, you know, working, moving from one company to another, then, you know, with school and everything else, and just life. You know, there's so much that happened the last 22 years. I can't even fit it in this just one podcast over here. But in 2009, to cut a long story short, the housing market happened. I mean, we're talking about real estate over here. So I lost my career just like most people. I did have a house then. I had a mortgage and, you know, a family to take care of. And moving, I feel like, you know, it just hit me like, what can I do? And you know, so the company I was getting laid off from, they had a truck over there that, you know, the bank was liquidating all these assets. So I took whatever was left on my savings account on my 401k and I threw it into that truck. And I started with that truck, Old Betsy. So I still have a picture of her. I wish we can post her. She's my favorite. I mean, she built Your Move, so I'll never forget that. But with the connection and the relationship I've built through the years, people have helped me to get to where I'm at. So there's so much behind this person that you see every day, with the support and the protection that I have from the people of Katy and Houston. It has really gotten me to this place, and I really appreciate it. I don't take that for granted at all.
So when you were in Africa, leaving
Yes.
there, I'm sure that had to have been like one of your biggest journeys ever, and there had to have been fear that set in. What was like the driving factor that made you decide, you know what, I'm leaving here, and I don't know what's in store for me, but I'm making a break? What was your driving factor?
I've always wanted to come to the U.S. In all honesty, whoever does the marketing for the United States is doing a great job. It's like, this is the place everyone in the world wants to be. Sometimes you live inside the bubble, you don't appreciate, what you have.
Mhm.
And then from somebody stepping on the other side of the water or on the other side of the fence, looking in, they don't take anything for granted. And for me personally, that's what happened to me when I always wanted to come here. My brother was here, so Texas ended up just being, a good fit for me because I didn't know anybody anywhere else. So when I got to Texas, he was here, but he has his own family and everything else. So I couldn't stay with him too long. I had to start venturing on my own and trying to figure it all out. And Texas was the place I wanted to be for a long time. I had friends that traveled somewhere else in the world, but that never faced me. I never wanted to be in England. I never wanted to be in anywhere in Europe. And I had friends that left, and I always wanted to be in the U.S. That's just what it was, even when I was a kid. So to tell you, this is what I used to do with my friends. To give you an idea, we used to bet on who knows all the U.S. 50 states and their capitals. And I was really good at it. And even now, I can still tell you at least about 40 of them. So it tells you exactly an idea of exactly us as what's important to us growing up, what we wanted to do with our lives. Because I felt like the 10-mile radius was too small for me. I needed something bigger. And for me to get more, to grow, I had to go. And that's what I did. I had to grow up. I had to grow up fast. I had to leave home. I had to leave my mother, my father, my siblings, all behind. And a kid coming over in this big land of opportunity, big land of the United States and the big state of Texas, it took me at least 10 years out. In all honesty, I think I'm still trying to figure this whole place out, but I'm getting somewhere after 22 years.
Yeah. And like you just said, leaving your mom and dad, leaving your sibling, leaving your family, and coming over here all by yourself, that had to have been fearful. And then you go through the mortgage industry crash. And at that point, did you have like a plan B? Like,
No.
if this happens, this is what I'm doing.
No, I didn't have a plan B because, in all honesty, I'm glad it happened. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad it happened. It actually has really changed my life for the better. I was scared, just like most people. I was really, really frightened. And to just use the word scared is an understatement. But then I realized, look, it's all or nothing. What that whole phrase where Oprah's saying, plan B takes all the attention away from plan A. So
I love that.
there was no other plan B. So it's either this or nothing. And then, so when I first started, like I said, I've broken down on the side of the road coming from Dallas, spend the night in my truck because, I do what I had to do. So if you see all these newer trucks that we have right now, there's a backstory to that. And it's all based on hard work, relationship building, and just staying the course is what we stayed with. Consistency compounds. Inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is too hard, right? So we stayed with it, we focus, and I've learned every time, I sit with, let's say, somebody like you, I try to learn something. I take something out of our conversation and I use it and I mold it to just better me in regards to where I'm going. And I've been feeding off a lot of people that have protected me, and not protection per se, but guided me in regards to building my company as a whole. So I have good friends. What can I say?
So when you developed your company, Your Move, number one, if you guys don't know the name of this company, it's Your Move, and it's spelled EURMOVE. So number one, where did the name Your Move come from? And then what made you spell it like that? Tell me about that.
Well, I did used to work for a furniture company called Your Way. It's called EUR, right? But like when I was venturing out on my own, I wanted to use the letter YOUR. But a friend of mine, David Bamberg, you know David.
Yeah.
David David's a commercial artist, so we were just basically, just sharing ideas. I wanted David to design our logo, and I was like, David, well, I mean, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I've always liked that contemporary style kind of a thing, so I felt like, you know what, instead of the YOUR, let's switch it to EUR, because I've already had that at the back of my mind for the other company that I work with, and instead of the way I put move on it, it just flows better. And then he designed it like the E is moving.
Yes.
If you look at our logo, so the E looks like it's going somewhere. And then we sort of just took that and ran with it. And I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah.
David's a genius. David, if you're listening to this, you're the man.
Okay, so when you first started your move, how many
Yes.
people helped you start the company?
Well, I mean, it was just me. I
Mhm.
started the company by myself. I went to the courthouse, get it registered and all that stuff. Now, there was a guy who I actually got laid off together with. So I told him, hey, dude, I mean, you're not doing anything. Can you come and help me? So we started working together. But later on, he needed a 9 to 5, so he left me, and because I was still struggling to get the business off the ground. And so, just then somebody I met told me about networking, right? Meeting other people to try to grow your business. And I was like, what is that? Because I didn't know what that was. So he introduced me to this guy, Wesley Burke. He's actually a carpet cleaning company in Tomball. So he invited me to Network Texas in Tomball, right? I used to drive to Tomball every Friday to go meet these individuals that used to just sit around this circle. Everyone's wearing red in honor of the veterans, right? And the first day I went over there, I was scared to death. I was like, what did I get myself into, right? I was fine until it was my time to speak. When I stood up, I don't know what I said, but I said something, right? And I sat down. But the bravest thing I did, Tricia, is I came back next week, then the week after, and I started building trust with these individuals. I'm still friends with a lot of them, even as of today. So that's how I sort of just build that network, by taking one person at a time, telling them who I am, and then building that trust with them. And it has gotten me to just in front of amazing people that in other fields I would have been able to meet these people in another life. Yourself included, because we met in Katy.
Yeah. So when you started your move, I mean, it's a moving company, for Pete's sake. You can't just have it with a one-man operation. You can't move all this furniture. You can't be driving trucks, scheduling appointments, trying to grow the business. How critical was it to get those first hires? How critical? And did you learn a lot through that and make a lot of mistakes?
Yeah, for the most part, in the beginning, I hired friends, people that I know, extended family members that didn't have anything going on, so they just came in and helped me out. So then as time goes on, I managed, I was able to afford to go out and then hire, people, because I've already had the background itself. I just need to train these people on what I want done. So when I hired people, I tell them, hey, even though you have an experience, you have a background of another moving company, but I do things differently. I mean, for me, experience goes with the territory, but honesty and common sense, certain things you have to have it. You can have all the experience in the world. If you don't have these things with you, you're just wasting your time. And that's what I wanted to just basically teach the people that are coming in. And we continue to just preach on that day in and day out. And that's why average in the moving industry, average is actually about 2 years with people. It's a revolving door. The average employees that we have over 6 years and counting. We've had some people here for that have been in the business for 15 years, work for us about 8 to 10 years, because they buy into what we are trying to do over here, so they tend to stay. And when people buy into your concept and then love what you're doing, they'll follow you. I mean, use yourself. I mean, the team that you have, they buy into exactly what you're doing. That's why they stay with you. That's why they basically wanted to build their own brand through Tricia Turner Properties and grow themselves, because they believe in Tricia herself. So it's all about leadership.
And you cast your vision, they see your vision, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if they see it, they'll stay. If they don't see it, some people will never get it, right?
Yep.
But the people that get it will follow you to the end of the earth and back, because they believe in what you're doing. And results is exactly what they're buying into right now because of all the work you put in. So that's just how I look at it.
So with you and your company, here we are in 2021. You made it through 2020, and of course, the real estate industry was thriving. Your company's continued to grow. How many employees are you up to now?
Right now, we have 37.
That's crazy.
It is, and then actually, I just we are working on a deal to get a tractor trailer, which is going to have like the bunk beds in them. Like
Wow.
you've seen those 18 wheelers on the road,
Yeah.
where the driver. So that because we are going so far now, and then we want to be able to just haul a lot more than what we used to haul. Because those tractors you can haul up to like I don't know maybe 40,000-50,000 pounds in them.
Wow.
Compared to like say the trucks where you can do like 12,000 pounds each truck.
Yeah.
And then
So
plus,
when your move started out, you and your friends starting out in old Betsy, and then you continually have grown. You've invested back in your company, invested back in yourself. How many trucks are you up to now? And where is old Betsy?
Okay, let's start with old Betsy because she's my favorite.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in 2016, I had to get rid of her because she was so old, I couldn't even find parts for the vehicle. I wanted to keep her. I wanted to just put her here in the warehouse and then just have her sit there. But some guy, because it's a Japanese truck, so they can actually sell the parts. So he bought it from me for about $4,500 and then took it to like Belize in Central America. So Betsy went to truck heaven somewhere,
Love it.
But we phased out all our older trucks, so we don't have any truck older than 2017.
Wow.
I invest a lot of money on material, on logo, because if you see our trucks, and then we wash our trucks once a week, we sanitize them. Looks are everything to me. You only get one chance for first impression.
That's right.
Yeah. So when you show up in style. And then and that's what we do with our trucks. And so now with 8 trucks, and then now working on this tractor trailer that we're trying to get. Plus, I also have 4 additional contractors that actually have their own trucks. Each one of them has 2 trucks. So we have all the resources we need to be able to handle every job that's out there at the moment. So we've been very blessed. And again, thanks to friends like you, we are so grateful to our friends and you guys are supporting us because 80% of our business is still word of mouth.
Yeah, and they tell you when you're studying people that have done things that you want to do, and ultra successful people, they tell you grow when you're uncomfortable. And so when I first met you, so I know your slogan was always "We move home and office," and you were local. Yeah, it was everything that you were doing was local, and you were growing locally. Well, then you've expanded, and then you kept going into more territories and more territories, more territories. How difficult was that to keep expanding like that?
Well, expansion comes with the territory, right? It's very difficult. There are nights that you don't even sleep, but like you believe in what you're doing.
Yep.
So you put your faith in God and your commitment and your honesty and integrity. For me, like I said, Tricia, I've told you this before. I would rather lose a couple of dollars than to lose a relationship. Relationships are more important than money for me. So when we were growing, it just happened so fast in regards to the growth. We added 1 truck. Within 90 days, we added a second. I think one year we added like basically 5 trucks in 1 year. That's how quick it expanded. And then our customers keep telling other people about what we do. So as we grow, we keep pushing that whole customer experience, not even customer service. It's the experience that we want to live with you. That way you can think about us and then be like, well, hey, you know what? I can refer these people to my friends, to my family, because of the experience I have with them. And you either have it or you don't. And we work every day to just mold it in regards to getting it where it needs to grow. But between 2016 and 2020, we just keep jumping leaps and bounds. Our average we expected like 5 to 10% growth, but that was a year that we doubled our growth, and that was a year that we did 50%. So it tells you what happened since you and I met until now, how we've expanded solely based on what I believe in, the direction I was taking the company, but the relationship I've planted through the years. This is not hunting, right? It's the whole thing about hunting and farming. Because when you go hunt, you kill one animal and you go home. Mm-hmm. But farming is what you plant into this ground, what you walk on is exactly what you're going to reap at the end of the day. And that's what I try to do. And that's what I try to preach with the team that I have. And as we continue to expand, that is exactly what's going to be our core as we grow as a company.
So are you in all 50 states now? Where's your territory?
Yep, we go everywhere within the lower 48, not 50
Love it.
states, 48. So we're still trying to get to Alaska and Hawaii. Now, if they have an interstate that can connect California to Hawaii, I'll go. But that's another story.
Yeah, it
But yeah,
is.
the farthest we've been is actually this place called Bainbridge, Washington. If you Google it, it's right on top of Washington State, where actually you can see Canada from over there. So that's how far we've been. And we just got back from Wenatchee, Washington, which is 2,400 miles one way.
Wow.
So you name it, we can go over there. As long as there's a road into that city, we can get you there. And it has worked wonders for us. And I have a great team that I can count on to get us there and back. And that's why we needed to expand and get the tractor trailer to keep us growing.
So I know with you, you're a goal setter, and clearly you've exceeded your goals every year. What do you see as your vision for your move? What's your next thing? What are you after besides this tractor trailer thing? I know that's a
Yeah.
big one.
Well, there are two things. First, right now we are leasing a storage facility. We wanted to get our own, right, where we can have our own storage facility and be able to park our trucks and then keep our customers' goods over there. Right now, we're leasing about 200 units. So a huge percentage of that is going to the facility that we have to pay for. But if it's ours, we can keep all that.
Yes.
But that's one thing. But number two, our goal is to turn your move into a franchise. I've been doing my homework on that, so it's still a work in progress. We're not there yet, but for me, you have to set the goal. You have to believe in it, and I write things down. When I set a goal, I write it down. If I hit it, that's fine, and then on to the next one. But I believe that I'm very capable with my team to get to where we're going, and we want to compete with the big boys, the Atlases, the United, the Mayflowers. These van lines have been around for 100, 120 years. Yep. But we want to be a neighborly business at the same time, have the resources to be able to just reach everywhere within the United States of America. So that's my goal right now moving forward, getting a franchise and also getting our own storage facility here in Texas. That's the goal.
Oh, yeah. So when you look at like the big dogs, Allied, and all these ones that have been around forever since we were kids, you have to look at them. Like when you just said what you said, in my mind, I'm thinking they're no different than you. You clearly can get this done. It's just a matter of time and doing the right things in the right order. Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to study your competition, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I've had a lot of friends that work in this business that work for them and stuff like that. So I study from them, I learn from them, and I grow with this company. So we actually even work together in some instances. So I've actually, went that extra mile where it's not crowded and try to just set myself in a way where I can be seen. And so with the van lines, they're all established because of how long they've been around.
Yep.
So but like, again, that whole concept of about inch by inch, I believe like as a company, we're going to get there. We just need to believe in it and then grow from the ground up. And then before you know it, we'll cover all the territories that they cover. We'll be able to just stand toe to toe with them and be able to just offer every service that they offer and then be able to just be there for our clients and still be a community-based company where you can just reach out to us if you need our services locally or if you need our help to support something that you have going on, or when disaster strikes, things like that we can help our people here because they've given us so much help through the years. It's only fitting that we can give back to the people of Katy, for example. They've just been good to me.
Have you ever read the book Rocket Fuel?
No.
You need to. You need to, because you and I are a lot alike. And in the book Rocket Fuel, it defines a visionary, and it defines. So I've read the book twice. It's one of my favorite books, and it describes me.
Rocket and fuel.
Rocket Fuel. Yep.
Okay.
And you're a visionary. You have this huge vision. Like you see sometimes people when they've reached a certain level of success, business owners, they take their foot off the gas. They become more complacent. They kind of step out of their business and they don't get involved. You're not. You're hands-on day to day. You're making sure your people are doing the right thing because you have a huge vision. You're not done yet. You're just beginning, clearly. So when you look at like what you've built and where you're headed, what do you think is one of your differentiating factors compared to your move, and the competition?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, it's my vision. my vision on where I want to take this company. You know, every company is different. They all have what they want to do. And for me, I just wanted to just seek connection, not attention, is what I want in regards to growing my business. And I believe like these connections that I seek will help your move get to where it needs to go. Because like I said, that whole phrase where comfort is basically just dreams go and die. I believe in that. You know, so like my friend Ronald Wilshire usually say, he said, disturb the comfort, right? That's the whole goal. We want to make sure like we don't get comfortable. We want to make sure like we have that drive and motivation that every morning. That's why you wake up at 4 in the morning, right? That's why I get out of bed, not 4, but 6 in the morning. You know, because we want to be here like the early bird gets the worm. We want to be here early in the morning and then keep it going. And then, but like, you know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's just the truth about it. Most people may look at you like, oh, Tricia's so lucky. And think, no, but Tricia just, she's busting her tail every day to get where she needs to go. And that's what I want to do as well. I want to just basically, you know, do something that not only my friends would be proud of, but my family's going to be proud of. And then I can look back, be like, you know what, man, I did this,
Yes.
I built this and I can leave it behind for my kids to benefit. I can give my children an advantage that I didn't have, that at least they don't have to worry about where daddy started with like, that $10 that he used to call his mom and was completely out of money and trying to figure this whole thing out, that they have something that I didn't have. And if I can give them that, if I can give my children, let's say, I don't know, 200 miles ahead of where I started, that will allow them to just basically not only be a productive member of society, but also build something special for themselves. I think I did a good job in regards to that sense. But when it comes to like taking my company somewhere, only me and the people that I believe in, that sees my vision, can go there with me. And I have no doubt that the guys that I have behind me would push me to get there. The friends that I have, the relationship that I've built through the years would allow me to just get there. And like this, for me personally, the sky is not the limit, it's the view. You just keep going. I mean, that's the reason why they call it space. It's wide open. Test the waters, push as much as possible, and don't never, ever settle. And settling is just not in my vocabulary. I'm not going to settle no matter what. So
I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know, just because I know you well, that you define your company on core values. We've talked about that a lot because, just like you alluded to, you can hire someone and you can train them on anything scholastically or to go move and pack the trucks where you want them, whatever. But it's the core values that mean that. That's what matters. Tell everybody, what are your core values? What does your move believe in?
Well, our core values is basically, there are certain things that I believe in, like, being thankful, my inspiration, my meditation, and just basically just having that attitude of gratitude is what we base this company on. I believe like, when what you appreciate appreciates.
Yeah.
So and as a company, we don't take our clients for granted. We don't take the relationships that we have for granted. We are not perfect, right? But one thing that we can do is I can assure you that anything that we basically needs to do right by people, we will take care of it. We will always stand behind exactly everything that we believe in, and then and people respect that. So that again is our core value. It's just basically making sure the customer have a great experience with us, but also building relationship on trust and loyalty. Because it takes a long time to build trust, but you can blow it just like that. And I don't want to ever be in a position where I have to worry about like, is this trustworthy? Is this something that my friends, my family would basically look up in the future and say, hey, Dawda did the right thing. You have to always do the right thing, even if nobody's watching, right?
Yes.
So again, the core value is just an attitude of gratitude, but relationship built on trust and loyalty. And obviously being very educational about what we are doing, learning, continue to grow as a person. And because I try to just read as much as possible, try to educate myself. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, whatever you appreciate. So if I educate myself, I can educate the team that I have. And they, in turn, can take that message I have and relate it to our clients. and preach it out there. And it has worked so far. And I believe that we're going to continue to make it work as a team. And your move must be put in the pedestal of the big boys sooner or later. That's the goal. Yeah, I want to compete with the best of them.
Here's
So,
my kind of takeaway on like moving companies, me being in real estate. So, and when I was first getting licensed in real estate, that was in 1992. And I remember my instructor like drilling into us at that point. Your job when you're out there representing sellers is to sell their home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time, to always work with integrity, because that is one of the biggest investments in their life. And so I do, and I've stood behind that my entire career. As a moving company, you are moving their contents of their biggest investment of their life. They have, family heirlooms. I mean, that's a huge responsibility. And so
yes,
you guys have a lot of competition. When I'm out driving around, I see some of these Joe Blow companies with these, half painted trucks and these guys that look, unprofessional and unkept. And it's like, do you really want somebody like that moving your stuff anywhere or touching your stuff or even in your home for that matter?
you really
And
don't want it
so,
because, like I said, as movers, we are invited in places where you don't even invite friends in, like your
yeah,
master bedroom. We basically just, you know, you're vulnerable in that
yeah,
sense, right? So if you don't trust the people that you are with, it's very difficult for you to just be okay with that. So as movers, that trust that, let's say, Tricia Turner would give me to walk into her house and then move her stuff. The reason why she's doing it is because of Dawda, right? But the relationship that she has with Dawda has to be able to just basically lay that same message to the team that he's sending out there. Be like, look, this is what I want done. This is what the customer's expecting, and go out there and get it done. So trust is the key. If you don't have it, you can't succeed in this business. You can get away with just little things once in a while, but then it catches up with you. So show trust, dignity, respect with everyone that you deal with. And then when you walk away from it, at least you can tap yourself in the back, like, you know what, I did what I was sent out there to do. And I appreciate the work that I do. And then usually the customers will just basically return the favor, whether
yeah.
it's gratuity or just posting a nice review about you, telling about other people about your business. And that's how other people that do not even know about you would go and find out who you are as a company. So it goes a long way. Yeah.
Well, and even in our real estate market like we're in right now, multiple offers are going in on properties. People are paying way over list price. I mean, time is critical right now. And so the sellers are usually the ones calling the shots, and the buyers are usually having to do whatever the sellers are saying right now. And
Yeah.
so oftentimes there's double closings that same day. People are like, how the heck am I supposed to be out of my house and close that same day? And thankfully, you have this option that a lot of moving companies, I'm sure, don't do, and because they can't.
Yeah.
And you have done it with me and my clients and my team and their clients many, many times, where you go and pick their furniture up even the day before closing so that the house is empty for closing, and then bring it to their new place the next day. And so that peace of mind alone is a differentiator, I believe.
It is. We just want to make sure, like, we are of service. If we can make it easy for the people, well, that's what we want to do. I'll give an example. Right now, we're moving a family in Montgomery. They have to close today. They have to get out of that house, but they have to move to North Carolina. And their schedule would not allow them to move out until today. And guess what? They wanted us there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We went there early in the morning. We got it done. So by noon, they were out. They can go close on their house at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then we'll see them in Leland, North Carolina, when they're ready to just, get their stuff over there in about 3-4 days. So, just we want to be a company of value to other
Yes.
people when there's a need for it. And then people appreciate that. And once you build that trust and become a company of value, I mean, it's up to you to just ruin it, because things are just going to keep falling in place. And it has really just worked out in our favor, because we say exactly what we're going to do. We practice what we preach. We try to take care of people in the same way that we want folks to take care of us. I know that kind of phrase is always thrown out there a lot: treat people how you want to be treated. But it is so true, because put yourself in their shoes. If they treat you the same way that you treat them, it's either good or bad. And if it's bad, you feel it. And you never want to deal with that person again, because you feel some kind of way because of the way they treated you. And I don't ever want that relationship with my clients or the referral sources that I have. And
No.
we try to go that extra mile. and do what we need to do to make sure we take care of people.
I love that. So as we bring everything to a close, I always like to try to help people that are watching grow their businesses naturally. What could you say are three things, if you were talking to somebody that wanted to start their own business, what are three things that you would tell them to focus on to grow?
Well, for starters, you got to know that this is not a sprint, right? This is a marathon. So it's going to take a long time to build on that. And you have to stay the course. It's very important. When you're starting out, there are days that, you know, your account's going to be red. You don't even know where the next client's going to come from. But if you believe in what you are doing, you have to stay with it. You know, just don't jump ship too quick. And because if you and I jump ship, for example, I started 12 years ago. You started since 92. If you quit and then go do something else, yeah, fine. You probably could have been successful in that. But this is what you love to do. For me, staying the course, making sure you find something that you really love to do, and then you stay with it. Do what makes you happy. It's easy, you know, it's easier said than done. But like, you know what, if this is what makes you happy, you look forward to doing it every morning, and go for it and get it done. I cannot wait to get over here in the morning. I look at this place, I said, you know what? I remember when I used to just basically walk from my pickup truck. That's where I used to build invoice and stuff like that. And we ended up getting an office and things like that and all that. And then now we keep expanding. Again, because I stayed the course, and then I love what I do. And I just cannot see myself doing anything else other than this. This is what I love to do. So, and last but not the least, just keep your integrity intact. Don't blow it, man. It's not worth it. Money is not worth your integrity. Your integrity is worth way more than a couple of $100. And that's just my take on it. So, honesty, integrity, hard work, it's gonna pay off sooner or later. So just stay with it.
I love that. Reputation is everything.
It is. It is. Reputation is all we got. If we lose it,
Well,
then
you guys paying attention. Like I said, I've known Dawda for years. He is our preferred mover. We do a high volume here in our office, and we trust him. We trust him with everything. We trust him with our clients. So you guys in real estate, y'all need to hook up with him. He goes all across the lower 48. You heard him.
I can get you there.
So it's not just residential. He does it all, and he'll store your stuff. He'll make your move a lot less stressful because it's already stressful enough. Hey, Dawda, how can people find you or your move?
Well, we have our website at yourmove.com, which is EURMOVE.com. And then our location is right here. This is our home base in sort of Katy, Houston area, which is 3880 Greenhouse Road, Suite W1, which is Houston 77084, but it's borderline Katy. So we are on social media, on Facebook, Your Move, and then also on Instagram at Your Move One as well. So those are the options that you can find us, or you can just pick up the phone and call our office at 281-988-9700. I promise I'll pick up when you call.
He does. You can get a hold of him. That's for sure. Clients call him all the time. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this today, Dawda.
Thank you, Tricia. I wish I could go with you at the 10X event. You know, I have my book, but you left without me, so I'm disappointed.
Next time you got to go.
Yeah, I love Grant. He's my hero. So I follow him all the time. I read his books and stuff like that. So you and I.
So did you see that he joined up with EXP?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw his wife as well. You know, it's crazy. So there's something special about this EXP.
Here's one thing that one of my biggest takeaways from the last 10X that we just came back from. Glenn Sanford, the founder of EXP, and Grant were having a conversation up on the stage, and Glenn said, "If you're not growing, you're rotting." Period. And that was just like, he's so right. Like even in life, when you see old people retire, what do? Nothing. Then they end up with Alzheimer's or dementia, and they're bored. It's like, man, I'm never going to stop growing. No. Why?
Because if you're not growing, you are dying. That's what
you are.
You're slowly dying, and that's it. And then, look, we have so much to live for. And then, you know, what are you going to do when you retire? Fine. I mean, even I've seen some people that retire and come back to work because they can't get there anymore. You slowly die right there. Yes. How many golf games can you play? You know, how many fishing trips can you take? But at the end of the day, what keeps you young, keeps you going, is your motivation to get somewhere. And I'm extremely proud of you and what you have achieved in these last few years. Since we met, you've done so much for the community, and then people love you. And then you just basically the captain of your own ship. And then I am so honored to be part of this, and I'm so honored to just be friends with you. And It's just, you're just a special human being.
Thank you.
And just people out there, if you're looking at buying or selling your homes, just Tricia Turner with Tricia Turner Properties, they can help you out. She's just amazing, and so is a team member. So just think about it when you're out there. Tricia, thank you so much for the opportunity, and then for giving me this platform to just sit and then chat with you. I really, really, really appreciate it as always.
The sky's not the limit, right, Dawda?
It's the view, yes, ma'am.
Y'all have a great day. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Tricia. You take care. Yes, ma'am.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.